614
Ni aje watu wetu?
Liron NK hapa.
Karibuni tena.
Ni aje mtu wangu?
Sambamba.
Bas. Ushakuwa na yule beshte. Have you ever had a friend that every time you meet them or when you're talking to them, they start telling you about their problems?
Oh, yeah. Or even when you're telling them about something, they say even them they've gone through that. Or they want to make you feel like theirs is worse than yours.
So they have gone through worse than what you have gone through.
Ati we hata hujui.
Yeah.
Unajua. So man.
Yeah, the reason why I bring up that issue is, have you ever felt like you're an emotion? And because we are friends, first, do you ever feel like sometimes, let me say, sometimes I would feel like you've given me so many problems, And for me, what I want to do, when you give me a problem, I'm like, hey, maybe I'm thinking like a man, by the way, because I know this is how you guys think. When you give me a problem, I want to solve it. Just like a guy who is like, when I tell you something, you're always giving me solutions to this problem. And probably what I wanted is for you just to have a listening ear. However, it is a problem when you're telling someone all your emotional issues. You become like an emotional dumpster.
Yeah.
So as a friend, when you become an emotional dumpster, unaona huyo mtu akikupigia simu unasema, oh my God, not today. Seriously, I can't do this today.
Some issues, when you have friends, some of them, they have issues that you cannot feel like, oh, not today or something, because you need to, maybe they need just to hear something from you to make them feel like, I can take another day. You understand?
I understand.
For me, I would say like the one you're talking about is like when you have an issue and you want you want to talk about it with me. First, I would say, why don't you tell me? I just want you to listen. I just want to rant, because I don't know what is going in your mind. You know. So if you have an issue, you want to talk to me and you don't want my advice, can you be clear and say, okay. I want to talk, but I want you to listen?
Let me rephrase. I see where you're coming from.
Oh, yeah.
I see where you're coming from. But let me rephrase. Maybe I should use different words, right? What point, as friends, should we stop becoming emotional dumpsters to other people, to your friends, right? What by that I mean, if we are like now how me and you are friends, right? When you come and tell me things that you're going through, right?
With my job or something with my work.
It could be with every day you're coming to tell me this is what went on, right? Tomorrow you're telling me the same thing. I don't see what did you do to solve the issue that you had yesterday. You did not do anything. Today, you're telling me the same thing. So 3 or 4 times, you're telling me the same thing, but you're not taking any step to solving that issue. So it becomes like you're comfortable just dumping that information onto someone, but you're not taking any step towards solving that problem, right?
But if I'm not able to take any step to solve the problem.
So when you're telling me, I know, and I understand where you're coming when you said about are you ranting, and we've talked about this before. Are we ranting or are we trying to find a solution?
Yeah.
I want us to move from that situation of ranting or trying to solve a problem. Is about you being like what the analogy you gave of someone coming and telling you their problems, even when you try to tell them something and say, hata wewe you've never even gone through anything. That's nothing. What I have gone through, now it start becoming what they have gone through. They never listen to what you're going through. So to you, you're an emotional dumpster. They'll come and tell you everything about themselves, but they'll never listen to your problem. Yeah.
Oh, now
so they'll never listen to your problem. And this happens, where I was going with this, is that this happens also in relationships and even in marriage. And I think we are, when the person who was talking to me about this talked to me about it, I was like, oh, I know we've had this problem before.
Yeah.
And if we have, then other people have had the same problem before, is where I come and tell you, I'm telling you things, telling you things about my family, I'm telling you things about my job, I'm telling you, and I'm expecting you to take all these things, and we still have a relationship, and still have, relationship of a husband and wife. It gets to a point you're like, no, you mtu. Akona, highs and lows of emotions that she know how to deal with her own emotions and stuff like that. When I come and dump them to you, how are you going to relate to me as a partner?
Itakuwa ngumu.
Because I'm always saying, okay, fine. Leo atakuja kuniongelesha juu ya nini?
Vile ameshinda kazi, vile amesumbuliwa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Atakuja atasema, sijui kwa barabara nimefanyiwa, like when I was coming home from work.
Yes. So
I went to the stores, those people, they were rude to me, Yeah, so
why are you always the problem? That's the thing that you always why are you always the problem? If you're always the problem, then you are the problem.
It's not why. If you keep on complaining today, tomorrow, and the other day and another day, you are the problem.
Right, you're the problem.
So deal with your stuff first, and when you come to me, let me have peace, because if unajua kuna wale watu ambao wanataka tu kufuruga kila mahali, alafu sasa yeye akishamaliza hiyo mifurugo yake anataka kuja kushare na wewe, vile wale watu wengine ni wabaya.
Right.
You cannot have everyone ati ni mbaya, Ukiona ni watu watatu wawili wa you don't amwelewani, then I think wewe ndio shida.
Yes. And I think that it's the same point where one of my friends was saying that, Mimi, I don't go home straight. I go out. I go out, I go to the park, or I go have a drink somewhere, and then by the time I go home, everybody, baby, amechoka. Amelala, because I cannot, with all the things that I am going through, I cannot go home again and find all these issues that have been going on at home.
Mwambie, hapo ndio anaanza kupotea. Ni ujinga wa hali ya juu. Kutapatikana mtu wa kumbembeleza huyo bibi mwenye atakuwa anamsikiza shida zake. So I am not that one. Go home. Go to your person.
Okay.
Talk the truth to that person. Mwambie hii mambo unashindanga ukiniambia hainijengi. So hizo mashida manze ukinipea na mimi nimeshinda na zangu nikikupatia tutakosana.
Okay, I'm a firm believer in this.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people are or where they stand with this. I'll give an example with us, right? You're likely not in the vicinity for a certain period of time, right? You're going through issues that I am aware of wherever you are, right? And issues that you have no control over.
Yeah.
Something happens in this household that you have enabled me, or I'm able to deal with that situation. So what do I do if let's say mtoto amekuwa mgonjwa, for instance?
Lazima uniambie.
No, but listen, amekuwa mgonjwa, si ndio? It's early in the morning. I know how your schedule is at that time, right? So if I told you, mtoto ni mgonjwa, what do? What happens to your mind?
I panic.
you're like, oh my God, what's going on, right?
Because simuoni,
so
maybe unajaribu
because I'm the
kucover.
one, because I'm the one on the ground. I assess the situation and say, okay, fine, can I handle this? To decide, okay, fine, we're gonna go to hospital, have her treated, and whatever happens there, then I inform you and tell you, oh, we were not feeling well, to kind of hospitally, and we were treated, and this happened. That is my way. I'm not saying it's what people should do, but that is my way, because I'm thinking, okay, fine, I'm able to deal with this situation at this point.
It's not a situation.
It is not it is not out of hand. It's not an accident that has happened. It's not out of hand. Yeah. So my point is everybody, as a partner, I think people should be able to be equipped, right? Equip me, or let me know that if this happens, you take charge. Unless it gets to that point, just like a job, there's that jurisdiction you're at, right? Yeah. There's that job description that you have. If it doesn't work, then you go to the higher management, right? So I cannot be having a task that I am assigned for, and then I expect to call my supervisor or whoever to tell them, oh, I can't deal. They'll be worrying, kwa nini?
Mtu sasa ni wakati
kazi yako. But then why are you in this position if you're not wherever? So this is where I was coming with our point of becoming emotional dumpsters of things that you are able to take care of. So should there be clear communication within
that's what I said before.
The relationship, like this is what what you're saying. Talk it out and say, well,
running from a problem can never solve your problem. I have done that before and it never solved anything. But I've come to realize, when I tell you something that I feel like you're not doing right, and I'm not coming to shout at you, or I just tell you, hey, ile story ya jana nini haikunibamba, sidhani, maybe ni mimi sikuelewi ama ni nini, you know, I put it like it's still my problem. Then you will tell me, okay, okay, basi nimeelewa, sita tena. But nikisema ati nikuje kwa nyumba late,
hauja solve your issue.
Hiyo issue iko bado. Huyu mtu mwenye unahepa, unaenda kukaa na watu wengine, na yeye anaanza kufikiria mambo mingi. Then kuna kuja mtu mmoja mwenye wanaitangwa problem solvers, na ndio wengi wanakujanga hapo katikati kusolve. Hapa iko mahali ya kulilia. Utakuwa unakaa huko
na yeye ako sawa.
Ako sawa. Then unaanza kuuliza, mbona huyu mtu ajali siku hizi? Kumbe
if you're not taking care of it, somebody will.
Definitely. This world is that way. That's why unaonanga mtu mwingine anatupa gari, mwingine anaichukua, anatengeneza na anatumia. Kibaya chako kizuri kwa mwingine.
So but I think we've talked about this before, about communication, as in clear communication and communication style. I think we need to be emphasizing on that. A lot of people have different communication styles. That person who is going out to avoid, because it's avoidance, to avoid is because they have not known what kind of communication style their partner needs, or their partner has not known what kind of communication style that they operate, the radar at which they operate at.
Ignorance is the worst thing to have in life, you know. Ignorance has never solved any problem in anyone's life. I know. Don't ignore an issue, because it's ni kama tu, you know, ni kama hata ugonjwa. Ukiignore inaendanga ina trigger ingine na ingine. So when you go to treat, you treat multiple diseases, whereby ungetreat moja na hii story ishe. It's just, everything is just like that. Kwa sababu saa zingine I think pia watu wako, we are selfish in relationships. I want to come and tell you my problems, but I don't want to listen to your problems. I dump my issue and I go. So wewe unakuwa ni kama dump site of my troubles.
Emotional dumpster.
So pia mimi nafanya emotions zako pia haujui what to handle when I come to you, because you don't know today what I'm coming with.
Right.
And the best thing to do this is don't dump anything to anyone, and don't put anyone's thinking down, like, oh, hiyo si mimi nimepitia hii, you know, hii yako hata ni kidogo sana, you know, kidogo chako ni kikubwa kwa mwingine. That's why when you have 1,000 shillings or let's say 1,000, let's go like $100. You have $100. To you, it might be big because it can solve your problems that you have.
It'll solve.
But to another person,
it's school fees. To
another person, that is money he can put somewhere and atasahau hata aliweka wapi, you know. Everybody's problem is different from the other person's problem.
Right.
And what I think is a problem to me, maybe it's not a problem to you.
Yes.
So let's not put down
empathy. I think we are talking about empathy. Being empathetic is putting yourself in the other person's shoe in terms of, why are they telling me this? Why are they, how are they dealing with this issue, right? Instead of, and that's why I always say you have to be very careful with being empathetic, because people will come again to you be an emotional dumpster for them, because they know you will put yourself in their shoe, right? So it is a delicate balance, but that's besides the point. But I like the point that you made of to be careful how you're communicating your issues to the other person. And there are so many underlying issues that actually someone has gone through, that when you come and tell them your problems, you don't know how they're gonna take them.
And before we forget, you talked about family, whereby I'll come and say some stuff which are not good about my family to you. You know, that way I'm making you sasa uanze kuona watu wangu kama ni they are nothing, you know. When you're in a relationship with me and talk about your people vibaya, you know, you tell me fulani, you know, it's just like you don't value them. How do you expect me to value them?
True. How do you expect you to value them? And again, I know there are people who will say, oh, I'm trying to be open to tell you how I feel about my family. However, I think it is important what you're saying. It is important how you communicate that information to me, or I communicate it to you in terms of, no, I'm not telling you so and so is useless. I'll probably tell you, oh, I think so and so, one of my sisters has a challenge. What do you think? How can we help? Not trying to talk negative about the people in your life. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, don't talk negative about your family to your partner, because that way you make your partner feel nothing about that person.
Yes.
If I come here and tell you, oh, my sister ni mlevi tu anamangamanga, I don't even, hata sijui ni kwa nini ananipigianga simu. In fact, hata staki simu zake. When she calls you, you will not even receive, because kama ndugu yake ashiki simu,
how am I supposed to? I know sometimes we want to be like, okay, fine, I want to be the bridge, but so long as you have that mentality, then I will not be able to be the bridge at any one point.
We also should understand our families have brains. So hata kama you're doing better than them, don't try to make them feel like you are the person planning everything for their life. Ati, you know, mtu anataka kufanya kitu, huwezi fanya hivi kwa sababu ni mimi nakupatia nini. They also have brains, and some of them are even better than, ni vile umebarikiwa tu na pesa. You know. We learn to live with other people and value everyone who is in your life, and make them feel like humans and they are valued. And I repeat again, don't talk anything negative about your family. They are your family. You didn't choose to be there, and you will always be there.
Good. So we've talked about two things today. We've talked about being careful, being emotional dumpsters to your friends and to your partner, because it affects. Do try and see what a kind of communications style you can have, that the communication style that your partner thrives in, right? When you do that, then you're able to solve issues, not going out there being putting things under the carpet because you don't know how to deal with them. And the other thing we've talked about is about not being careful, not to, again, it's a communication style. Being careful, be careful on how you communicate issues about your people to your partner, because it will determine how your partner relates with these people. Yeah, and how will you be a bridge if there is no clear.
If I don't value my mother,
how are you gonna?
How am I expect you to value her?
Yes.
It's simple.
Yeah.
If I don't value my brother, how do I expect you to value her? And to value him, sorry.
Yeah, and it's still an emotional dumpster because you're coming to tell me stuff about your people, but I'm not seeing what you're doing to solve that issue.
That emotional stuff that you're talking about, most of it in families come through the other family. That's why I'm talking about. So when you think you're talking about this stuff, putting it to your wife or your husband or your partner or your friend or your girlfriend, you're also damaging these people.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
You're damaging them because you're putting a stuff that they should not be carrying. You know?
Yeah, you're telling me things that I'm almost thinking, okay, what are we going to do about this? Yeah, what are we going to do about this?
And you end up pushing those people because now if they are bad to their brother, what am I doing?
And I'm like, I can't deal with all these emotions and all this. I can't, let me put them aside. So
that's why you find some people wanadharau your people. Si ati kwa sababu walipenda kudharau, because you gave them the platform.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. So let us know. Thank you again. Let us know what you would like us to talk about or what our experiences are. We are not afraid of talking about anything.
Oh,
don't worry. We'll take the slack for everything. We'll take the slack for it.
Side.
Yeah. And for those who are still watching without subscribing, that's fine. But please consider subscribing. Yes. And with that,
we love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.